Okay, keep an eye on the time because it's 5:02. At 5:30, it cuts off even if we're in mid-sentence.
We should be able to do
So,
this one
yep.
really quick.
So it's recording. You're good on your end?
Yep.
We can always edit.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna do my little spiel and then I'll introduce you.
Okay.
Welcome, SB Nation. Here we have another episode, and today we have a very special guest. Her name is Jennifer Parrish. She is a public adjuster, and us in the real estate field, we keep hearing about public adjusters. We just don't know exactly what do they do and how do they benefit you as a consumer, and also for the person buying a property or selling a property. We're trying to understand better how we can use public adjusters. And we have an expert here in that field. Her name is Jennifer Parrish. And Ms. Parrish is going to help you and introduce herself and help you answer some of the questions you might have regarding public adjusting. And without further ado, it is my great pleasure, Jennifer, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself and what is a public adjuster.
Sure. My name's Jennifer Parrish. I've been licensed by the state now for 3 years doing public adjusting. I have extended education with real estate law and finance from college, but I spent 26 years building houses and just found a knack for myself because a public adjuster is a state licensed and bonded adjuster who represents merit-based damages to an insured's property caused by an insured covered cause of loss on behalf of the homeowner and not the insurance company for the homeowner's financial and physical recovery to return the home back to pre-loss condition in assisting them in getting that done. So that's what a public adjuster does.
So in layman's terms, when does a public adjuster when does a homeowner reach out to a public adjuster? At any time for inspections, during a house inspection, during floods, what is your typical phone call when they need your services, when a homeowner needs your services?
It's usually after the homeowner has sustained a loss.
Okay.
And they can either call us at the beginning of stages and say, hey, this is, too stressful, too complicated, I need help. Then the public adjuster basically, carries them through the claim process and deals with all the correspondences and managing the loss. Or the homeowner may find themselves in a position where they have filed a claim for loss, but they do not feel like they are being properly represented by the insurance company because their adjuster come out, their adjusters say, this is how much loss, this is how much the dollar amount is. So, or they'll say this is not covered. So they use policy language to deny a claim. You can call a public adjuster to come in and look at the denial, whether it's a truthful denial or whether there may be some merit that they overlooked, and the public adjuster can stand in and take care of that. Or if you got an under adjustment and you felt like to repair the home, or you're finding out that repairing the home is going to be more costly than what the insurance company adjusted for, you can also call a public adjuster and they'll come in and try to help you dispute your case against the insurance company based on the damages to your house, how much it's going to take it to get back to pre-loss condition.
So is that very common that the insurance companies do not pay what the current cost of the repairs are?
I think yes. So, but I think in layman's terms, when adjusters come out that work for the insurance company, it's their job to try and make that repair efficient repairs. So they may not be looking at the overall size. They're just looking at keeping costs down.
Okay.
Because insurance companies are in the business to make money. So they're obviously, these guys are trained to keep costs down. But at the end of the day, does it bring enough repair money to the homeowner to fix their house? And in a lot of cases, it doesn't.
So for our typical, and that way we can instruct our clients, meaning sellers of homes or buyers of homes, how can they benefit from using your services in the overall spectrum? If they're barely buying a house, would a buyer of a home need a public adjuster, or it's more geared towards when you own the home?
Well, insurance policies and damages are only paid for during the ownership of a house. So you must own the property. The damage must have happened while you own the property. I've had cases where, the client closed on the house August 8th, and on August 13th, the house was destroyed because a hurricane came through and destroyed their house. But the house had only been insured for 7 days. But that's the risk that insurance companies take by writing a policy. We are in a weather-torn state. It's going to happen. I've seen houses get hit the very next day with something sudden and unexpected. And, it was covered only because policy went into effect the day after that, something unforeseen happened. And now the homeowner's left with, oh, I just closed on my house, and now I have all these damages to take care of. So, yeah, but you must own the home at the time that the damages happen, and the policy must be in place.
Can it be a rental home?
Yeah. It could be a rental, an Airbnb, anything that you have an insurance policy on.
And even if the company, say a company owns the dwelling, like an investment firm, can they still call a public adjuster, or that's not on the table for investment companies and investors?
Well, REITs, anybody who owns the insurable interest of a property can call a public adjuster. We represent the policy owner. So there's even cases where the policy owner is not the property owner, where you have forced insurance, and we're representing damages on a forced insurance policy. Yes, for the benefit of the homeowner who needs those repairs done, but the policy is actually owned by their mortgage company. So the benefactor of the policy payment is actually the mortgage company. And that does happen 9 times out of 10. We're actually being contacted by the homeowner, and they're not aware that that's how that's happening for them. But that's what we do.
I see. Say, for example, if an insurance company denies a policy or denies a claim, how do they have so many days before the homeowner can call you? How can we help the homeowner during this interview so when they see it, they say, look, this is the actual process after I got denied? How many days? How do they call you?
They have a limited amount of time to dispute.
Okay.
There are statutes. Currently, I believe the statute's 24 months. It recently changed. So if
you have a reasonable amount of time, not a day or two. Okay.
Right. You don't want to sit on it too long. We were seeing in the state of Florida that insurance companies close their doors when they're forced with situations that are larger than they can manage. Avatar closed their doors. Southern Fidelity closed their doors. United Property and Casualty closed their doors. If you're in dispute with them, your dispute becomes a precedence over if something did happen, you were at least in dispute with them before they closed their doors. And in most cases, they're going to hand the business over to the state of Florida, and the state of Florida will manage that afterwards. But the preservation of damage, you want eyes set on your damage as fast as possible. So if you've already waited 2 months and you're getting denied on your claim, you want somebody to witness your damages as soon as you can, because those damages could get worse by a different event. And now we are left to decipher which event caused what damage. That's a hard spot to be in unless the homeowner, preserved everything in documentation. Rare, in my experience. But you really want to address that denial and that dispute of the denial as soon as possible. Because what if the insurance company could practice this is a denied claim and we don't want to renew you. And then mentally, the homeowner starts thinking, I don't have a right to dispute now because this isn't my insurance company anymore, which in fact you do. You still have the right to dispute that insurance company. So the art or the practice of them dropping a homeowner after they get a denial, I think that's more set for a perception that you can't fight us. We're no longer your insurance company. That's not true. You still can fight a dispute, even though they're not your insurance company.
Oh, so you can still fight a dispute and then during the denial. So for example, Jennifer, how can somebody get a hold of you? And just to reiterate again, that you're looking after on behalf of the homeowner, not the insurance company, correct?
Right.
Did I misunderstand? Or sometimes there's a meeting of minds, or are you looking after the benefit of the homeowner exclusively for that homeowner, not the benefit of the insurance company?
Right. Our job is to look after the homeowner's rights and coverage underneath their policy and how that policy is governed underneath their situation. So we're the homeowner's advocate. We're also tasked with there are several people who have called me and I've had to decline helping them because their case was not valid. So we're also tasked with making sure the insurance company doesn't have somebody falsely trying to get something from them as well. So in that regard, yeah, we do look out for the insurance company, but our job is to take care of the homeowner and try and get them back to try and make them whole again so they have enough funds to return their home back to pre-loss condition.
I see. Is there a cost to the homeowner if the homeowner watches this show and says, look, I have something I have questions about? Can they call you directly? Is there a cost to the homeowner? Do they have to pay a consultation fee? How does that work?
Consults are free. Speaking to us to get, down to the bottom of your circumstances, it doesn't cost the homeowner anything. By law, we only accept retainer fees if we retrieve the homeowner recovery. So it operates much like an attorney does. No recovery, no fee. And our fee comes out of the claim payment. There is provisions in the policy that allows us to add our fee on top of damages so that we can request that those be honored at the same time during the claim. Most policies have that provision in it. We are tasked every now and then by an attorney or an engineer firm. They ask us to do what's called a scoping or an estimate. And that is a flat fee to those firms who just need that one little bit of service. But as a rule of thumb, when a homeowner retains our services, it's a percentage of the claim when the claim is paid, and that's it.
If it seems like it's fairly easy, if you were to break it down into 5 steps, when the homeowner sees that there's damage to their house, do you think that's possible to walk us through 5 little steps what they should do after losing damage, and say they're barely finding out what public adjuster does, but kind of guide them through the process, and that way they can, if they have some damage, they can reach out to you or to another office similar to that.
You want to photograph as much of your damages as possible. You want to preserve your scenario. Say a pipe bursts. Immediately start taking photos and videos of the validity of the claim.
Okay.
Because 9 times out of 10, in the case where we have a busted pipe, we're going to have a water mitigation company coming out as soon as possible to prevent any further damages to that home. And given whatever is going on with the house, try and address preventing further damage to the home as fast as possible. So in the case where there's a busted pipe, turn off your water. In the case where there's a fire, call the fire department as fast as possible. Hopefully you have a fire extinguisher. Do your best, get everybody out to safety. Do not worry about your belongings. That is the worst thing you could do. Get your animals and your family out of your home, get to a safe place, get the fire department there. And then a mitigation company will come in as soon as it's safe. And then the ball will start rolling.
So would that be, sorry to cut you off, but I was just trying to break it down. So step number one is take photos of the damage.
Right.
What would be step number 2? To reach out to a public adjuster and then make a meeting? Or
well, you're mitigating. Step number 2 is mitigating any further damage to the house as fast as possible. Step number 3 would be to notify the insurance company as soon as you can. If you're going to want a public adjuster on your side, reach out to them same day, same time, right after you tell the insurance company. The insurance companies, they have resources. They will send out people as fast as they can to assist. So like in the case of a fire, they're going to call a mitigation company as fast as possible and an adjuster. And hopefully those people will be out same day or next day to help ascertain what needs to be done to preserve the remainder of the home or the contents of the home. Many things go into play, how the fire happened. And then every claim is a little different, but in the case where it's like a non-emergency, let's say hurricane came through, you're missing 100 shingles, house is leaking, in that case, you would want to, obviously try and document as much as possible. I don't recommend for anybody to get on the roof. That is unsafe. Call a mitigating company to come and tarp your house. Call your insurance company, notify them of what happened. Hurricane Idalia came through and I have this monster, and or call your public adjuster and we will come out and start preserving everything, the pictures, measurements, also helping find mitigation so the house doesn't get further damaged. And we will call in the claim for you.
Oh, so me as the homeowner or some of my clients, if they run into this situation, they can call the public adjusting office like yourself, and then you can assist them to see what other steps they need.
Right.
And refer them to other contractors. Is that part of your role?
Well, what we do as public adjusters is we come and we check the damages. We document the damages. We take pictures of the damages. We measure. In some cases, we're using tools to help us determine to what extent damage is, such as a moisture meter or something like that, so that we can track. And then we take this evidence to make an estimate of repairs off of using industry adopted software. So we don't just make this up. This is the adjuster on the other side and I are using the same software most of the time. And then we help the homeowner present that cost to the insurance company and ask for them to honor that cost. And then they will start dissecting that estimate and saying, well, this isn't covered or that's cut. You know, they try to validate what we're asking for. And if it's all valid, then they sometimes will want to, you know, we think we can get it done for less. Here's our proposal. So it becomes a haggle back and forth. And it really is determined on the industry. You know, some trades are losing their tradesmen left and right. So like roofing's getting hurt. It's getting more and more costly to do roofs.
I see that.
Yeah. So the insurance company has to catch up with that, right? They're going to have to come to Jesus with the expense of what compensation looks like to get a roof fixed. And then, you know, for every 3 tradesmen that's leaving the industry, we're only getting 1. So you got less plumbers, less electricians. The cost of everything is going up. So in sometimes overnight, windows and doors, because of the 2 most recent hurricanes we have, the cost of getting windows and doors is 2 to 3 times more than memory serves me that it used to be, because the window factory, at least here in Florida, one of our most popular manufacturers is PGT. They were down. They are located in Southwest Florida, and their facility was hit by the hurricane. So there was no window making going on. So you get backlogged with inventory.
Is that why prices have skyrocketed? I've seen an increase in prices.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, the pandemic didn't help because people couldn't come to work. So they couldn't keep things like shingles. Shingles were not being made for months. They couldn't get supplies from other countries. They couldn't get employees into the factory. There was a lot of factors. You couldn't get truck drivers to take the material to warehouses. There was a lot of moving factors. And it just, so what they had left was all they had to deal with. So if you have 100 of something, but you got 1,000 people who want it, who's paying the most money to get my 100 items? Because it's the only, you know, so supply and demand. I don't know when we're going to see that change.
A question for you, Jennifer. If, say, some of the homeowners, they don't know if they have coverage or not, does your office or can you review their insurance paperwork to see if they have coverages? Is that an extra cost? Is that part of your program?
No, I mean, that's part of a rapport. That's part of building a relationship with somebody, building that trust, running through their policy, telling them that, you know, this is what kind of coverage you have. This may be the obstacles that you come across.
And you can review that at the beginning with the homeowner before they start the whole process. That way they have some expectation of what the process is like.
Yeah. More and more policies are being adapted to cut the risk for the insurance company. So more and more roof schedules are going into policies where they tell you, you know, if the roof is 5 years old, this is how much percentage of the roof we're going to pay for, regardless of what it cost.
I see.
So they are it's a depreciation table. So that's in your policy, some policies. So that would have to be reviewed. So if they have a roof payment schedule, they have to go by the schedule because that's going to govern the claim. Some policies now have a separate roof deductible, no matter how the roof got hurt. So, and they're tending to be a lot larger than your normal deductible. There's a lot of factors that go into, some people have water exclusions or water limitation.
I've run into that quite a few with some of my clients. How can our public and our followers get a hold of your office or yourself? What do you recommend if they have questions? How can they get a hold of you? Do you have an email address?
Yeah, I am with Bay Area Public Adjuster. That's the name of our
Okay.
firm. And my email address is Jennifer at
Mhm.
bayareapa.com. And you spell my name Jennifer
Okay.
at Bay Area, because we're in Tampa Bay. So Bay
Okay.
Area. And PA stands for Public Adjuster. So bayareapa.com. And I'm happy that, if they want to email me, tell me their
Mhm.
little situation, their contact information, I can reach out with them. They should always have their policy prepared.
Okay.
Lots
So
of times
have
I
that
get,
handy. You recommend?
have it handy because a lot of times I can't answer questions if I can't read the policy.
I see. Can they email you the policy?
Yep.
That way you can review it?
I'm happy
Perfect.
to look at it in an email.
Well, I really appreciate your time. I know it's late and you're busy. Any closing tips that you have for the homeowner or something that can be of value for the homeowner?
Again, I can't emphasize enough how getting those first few photographs of something happening is going to help them.
Okay.
For instance, I had a claim where the AC toppled off the house and went across the roof. Well, he didn't take pictures of it, rolled off and on the roof. He only took pictures of it after they removed it from the roof and set it on the ground.
Oh, wow.
So the insurance company was like, well, how do we know? Like, how do we know? And you
That's
could see
a
the
huge one.
holes in the roof where the AC had, tea kettled over his roof, and there was holes in the roof. But
Wow.
if he had taken a picture of it sitting on the roof, he may have had less problems.
So that's a huge one. SB Nation, start taking pictures of any damages and then get a hold of Public Adjuster. Jennifer works for Bay Area Public Adjusting. We have her email address. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jennifer at bayareapa.com.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, thank you for your time. And I'm sure our followers and our customers are going to have a lot of questions. I'll be sending you the emails that I get, and then hopefully we can help them answer those questions that they have.
Well, I hope we can help many. But, we're here to help.
Thank you very much for your time. You have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.